1985 was a moment in time when rock filled the air with bold ideas, big choruses, and unforgettable voices. These 10 songs captured the heart of a generation and became the soundtrack to everything from late-night drives to packed stadiums. Whether you remember the first time they played or are just discovering their magic, the feeling is the same. Turn it up, let it play, and step back into the sound of a year we'll never forget. Number 10, We Built This City by Starship. In the mid-1980s, Starship emerged from the ashes of Jefferson Airplane and Jefferson Starship, reinvented, rebranded, and aiming straight for the top of the charts. With this track, they delivered one of the most recognizable and divisive anthems of the decade. Written by Bernie Taupin, Martin Page, Dennis Lambert, and Peter Wolf, the song was never meant to be subtle. It was loud and built for FM radio. Recorded at the record plant in Los Angeles, it blended synth pop gloss with rock theatrics. And gave Grace Slick and Mickey Thomas a platform to deliver one of the biggest choruses of the decade. Lyrically, it's a protest wrapped in a pop hook, a love letter to live music in an era when corporate interests were choking local radio. The irony? It became a massive hit on the very stations it critiqued. The track hit number 1 and dominated MTV rotation with its surreal cityscape-heavy video. While critics later labeled it as overproduced, fans never stopped singing along. Number 9. In 1985, it was re-recorded with producer Alan Tarney and paired with a groundbreaking animated video that blended live action with pencil sketch animation. The result was electric to number 1, but it wasn't just the chart position that made it legendary. It was the way Morton Harkett's soaring falsetto turned a simple love song into an emotional roller. Video, directed by Steve Barron, won 6 MTV Video Music Awards and helped define what the medium could be. Even today, its hand-drawn transitions and romantic storyline are instantly recognized. 8, Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams. By the summer of 1985, Bryan Adams was at the height of his breakout success, riding a wave of hits from his album Reckless. Among them was this track that would become one of the most enduring rock anthems of the decade. Co-written with longtime collaborator Jim Vallance, the song was recorded at Little Mountain Sound Studios in Vancouver and released as the 4th single from the album. Its strength lies in its simplicity. A story of young love, big dreams, and the kind of memories that grow louder over time. The lyrics follow a teenager forming a band, falling in love, and chasing something that always felt just out of reach. It's not about the year, it's about the feeling. Driven by sharp guitar riffs, tight drums, and Adams' signature rasp, the song soared across charts and became a staple of rock radio. Those were the best days of my life. It still electrifies live crowds, with fans shouting every word like it was written for them. Number 7. What About Love by Heart. By 1985, Heart was ready for a reinvention. After a run of success in the 70s, the band had hit a lull. But their self-titled comeback album would change everything. Leading the charge was What About Love, a power ballad that reintroduced the Wilson sisters with a bigger sound and a sharper edge. Originally written by members of the band Toronto, the song was passed over until Heart's producers heard its potential. Recorded at Mushroom Studios in Vancouver and produced by Ron Nevison, it marked a shift toward a more polished, arena-ready sound. One that blended hard rock roots with emotional weight. Ann Wilson's vocal performance is the heart of the track, soaring, pleading, and commanding all at once. The chorus builds with layered guitars, echoing synths, and a dramatic sense of space that made it perfect for radio and even better on stage.
But there's something that you forgot. What about love?
It reached the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and helped drive the album to platinum status. Number 6, Broken Wings by Mr. Mister. In a year dominated by big hooks and flashy production, Mr. Mister took a quieter approach and struck something deeper.
This time might be the last fear.
With this track, they delivered something that was mysterious, atmospheric, and impossible to forget. Formed in Los Angeles by bassist Richard Page and keyboardist Steve George, the band had spent years behind the scenes as session musicians. But in 1985, they stepped into the spotlight with their album Welcome to the Real World, and this was the song that carried them there.
Baby, don't understand why we can't.
Inspired by the poetry of Khalil Gibran, Broken Wings blends cryptic lyrics with a moody, pulsing arrangement. The track was recorded at Sound City Studios in Van Nuys, California, and produced by Paul DeVilliers, who crafted a sound that felt both intimate and cinematic.
Make it all too clear, I need you so.
Richard Page's vocals glide over shimmering synths, steady percussion, and a haunting guitar riff that lingers long after the final chorus fades.
Take these broken wings.
From power ballads to arena anthems, these tracks still hit just as hard. Which one brings back the biggest memories for you? Share your favorite song or story from the 80s in the comments. We're reading all of them. Number 5, St. Elmo's Fireman in Motion by John Parr.
I can see a new horizon underneath the blazing sky. I'll be ready.
When filmmakers needed a theme for St. Elmo's Fire, they didn't just want a soundtrack, they wanted something that captured ambition, struggle, and hope. They found it in a rising British rocker named John Parr. Working with composer David Foster, Parr was originally brought on to write a song tied to the film's themes. But after hearing the story of Canadian athlete Rick Hansen, who was embarking on a global wheelchair marathon to raise awareness for spinal cord research, they shifted course. The result was Man in Motion, a song that blended the energy of the movie with the heart of a real-life mission. Recorded in Los Angeles in early 1985, the track featured a powerful mix of soaring vocals, urgent guitar lines, and Foster's unmistakable production polish. It wasn't just motivational, it was explosive. The track climbed to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became an anthem far beyond the film. Its music video, intercut with scenes from the movie, played endlessly on MTV, giving the song a life of its own. Number 4, Kyrie by Mr. Mister. Following the success of Broken Wings, Mr. Mister returned with a song that felt even more expansive, more spiritual, more cinematic, and just as unforgettable. Kyrie wasn't just another hit from Welcome to the Real World, it was the track that solidified the band's place in rock history. The title, taken from a Greek prayer meaning "Lord have mercy," reflected the song's introspective tone and open-hearted lyrics. Co-written by lead singer Richard Page, Steve George, and lyricist John Lang, the track combined poetic ambition with arena-sized production. Recorded in Los Angeles and once again produced by Paul DeVilliers, Kyrie layered shimmering synthesizers, atmospheric guitar, and a propulsive drum beat that never lets go. Page's vocals rise and fall with precision, bringing urgency and warmth to every verse. Released in December 1985, the song became a chart topper a year later, reaching number 1 and remaining one of the most requested tracks of the year. It resonated far beyond pop radio, showing up in films, sports arenas, and late-night car rides across the country. Number 3, Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds.
Don't you forget about me.
In the opening moments of The Breakfast Club, a single drum hit and distant synth set the tone, not just for the film, but for an entire era. Oddly enough, the band didn't write it. The track was penned by producer Keith Forsey and guitarist Steve Schiff, who initially offered it to several artists, including Billy Idol and Bryan Ferry. Simple Minds were reluctant, but eventually agreed to record it, and in doing so, delivered the most iconic moment of their career. The track was recorded at Genetic Studios in England, where the band infused it with their signature atmospheric sound, moody synths, echoing drums, and Jim Kerr's soaring vocal line. It was minimal, but powerful, a slow build that erupted into one of the most memorable choruses of the decade. It became inseparable from the film that helped define teen angst in the 80s. Paired with the closing scene, Judd Nelson's raised fist, and that final freeze frame, it became a cultural landmark. Even without the movie, it would have stood on its own. But together, they became something larger. A voice for anyone who ever felt misunderstood, searching for connection in a world that didn't quite get them. Number 2, Home Sweet Home by Mötley Crüe. In the middle of the chaos, the makeup, and the mayhem, Mötley Crüe showed a different side. One that wasn't about destruction, but about something surprisingly tender. Home Sweet Home wasn't just a ballad. It became the blueprint for every power ballad that followed. The song was written during the sessions for Theater of Pain, recorded at Pasha Music House in Hollywood, and produced by Tom Werman. At a time when the band was living on the edge, battling addiction, fame, and burnout, this was their moment of reflection. Opening with Tommy Lee's simple piano melody, the track slowly builds into a full-blown anthem. Vince Neil's vocals are raw and emotional. While Mick Mars' soaring guitar solo cuts through like a call back home. It became the emotional anchor of Mötley Crüe's live shows, a rare pause in the storm when lighters filled the air and the crowd sang every word. Number 1, Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. By the summer of 1985, Dire Straits had crafted a sound that was both technically refined and commercially unstoppable. With Money for Nothing, they delivered a track that was sharp, ambitious, and perfectly in step with the rise of music television. Co-written by frontmen Mark Knopfler and Sting, the song was inspired by a real conversation overheard in a New York appliance store, a cynical take on celebrity culture and the glamorized life of rock stars. Knopfler turned those offhand remarks into a track that blended satire with precision. The recording took place at AIR Studios in Montserrat, where Knopfler used a customized amplifier setup and a Gibson Les Paul Jr. to create the track's signature guitar tone, jagged, punchy, and unmistakably modern. Sting, who happened to be in the studio at the time, added a vocal hook that gave the song its rhythmic anchor and helped connect it to the MTV generation. Released in June 1985, the song became an international hit and propelled the album Brothers in Arms to global success. Its animated video, one of the first to feature computer-generated characters, became a constant presence on television and helped define the visual language of the decade. It spent weeks at the top of the charts, earned critical acclaim, and won a Grammy for Best Rock Performance. It wasn't just a single, it was a milestone in production, sound, and cultural timing. Still can't get enough of that classic rock energy? Check out 10 rock songs from 1987 we'll never forget. More legends, more stories, and even bigger anthems. It's waiting for you next.